You know where I've always wanted to go?
Where?
Famous Fifth Street School.
There you are.
And here's Steve from the Art Box, and I'm with Zoë Camper.
Zoe.
I was saying Zoe, but I thought somebody told me.
No, you're correct.
They were probably just trying to get me in trouble.
They were.
With you.
Yeah.
I think it was Michelle.
Was it? Oh, well, there you go then.
Welcome to The Art Box, your podcast dedicated to exploring the vibrant art scene in Nevada and beyond. Join us as we embark on a journey through galleries, theaters, studios, public lands, and streetscapes, meeting the artists, curators, archaeologists, nature lovers, and cultural influencers who shape our creative community and our world. Whether you're looking for your next cultural adventure, seeking inspiration for your own artistic pursuits, or simply curious about the world of art, tune into The Art Box. Together, let's open up a world of creativity and imagination. Let's dive in.
Dreams, what if the night is about you and me? So lift your head up to the sky.
So I'm Zoë Camper, and I've seen her here and there. Probably another Nancy Good type introduction,
Yes.
I'm thinking.
Yes, I had my first picture in an exhibition at Nancy's called Contemporary. And she was the first person to offer me a solo show in the city, which was phenomenal. So very grateful indeed. Yeah.
Okay, so that's where it was, yeah.
Yes. And in fact, I think we met.
And I think you told me then your name was Zoe.
No, I didn't. Stop it, you.
I'm sorry. I'm going to get as much mileage out.
Yeah, no, you go ahead. At some point, yeah, it's going to get dangerous.
Out of my losing as possible.
Yeah.
So,
You're welcome.
Zoe,
yes.
Tell me about yourself.
I'll keep it
Tell the listeners about yourself.
short as possible. Born in East London, in one of the very last cottage hospitals, actually.
No, really?
Yeah.
Is it torn down?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Addie, your favorite art box researcher from down under, jumping in here because my mom was born in a cottage hospital near Lake Wivenhoe. Let me provide some details. A cottage hospital in the UK is a small, community-based medical facility, typically located in rural or semi-rural areas. Originating in the 19th century, these hospitals were established to bring essential healthcare closer to home, especially for those living far from large urban medical centres. Cottage hospitals traditionally provided a wide range of services, including minor injury care, rehabilitation, palliative support, and, importantly, maternity care. For generations, they served as the local birthplace for babies, offering a more personal and familiar environment for mothers-to-be, often attended by midwives or local GPS. While many no longer provide birthing services due to changes in healthcare centralization, some still offer midwife-led units for low-risk deliveries. Today, most cottage hospitals are part of the NHS community healthcare system, offering outpatient services, physiotherapy, diagnostics, and transitional care. Though smaller in scale, their role remains vital, providing compassionate, accessible care and preserving a strong sense of local connection in healthcare delivery. Zoe, when Steve told me about this podcast, I was begging him to let me fly in for it. Alas, the Art Box budget would not allow it. Maybe next time. Addie, over and out.
So it's no longer there, but born in East London, raised for my first few years in East London, and then went out to the Cotswolds, which is a very pretty part of the UK that lots of tourists go to. Went to school, went off to art school, which was the only thing I ever wanted to do. Did that, then had a few years of clearly being penniless.
Oh, it's a double artist, huh?
But actually I worked for Rolls-Royce, and I did marine camshafts. I was very interested in my degrees in 3D design. Okay. So I ended up in the factory doing, I can't say it anymore, metallurgy tests. So I would test camshafts for hardness and so on. Loved it, but got made redundant. I retrained as a teacher. I did a PGCE in design technology and just started using technology, and I never looked back. And I've always combined the two interests, if you like, art and technology, in pretty well everything I've ever done. So various jobs along the way. And then my husband said to me, I've been offered a job in Las Vegas. What do you think? I said, let's give it a go. Let's give it a go. I got off the plane and thought wild horses won't take me back. So that was about 8 years ago. So here I am.
I do like it here too.
Yeah.
Yeah. The 110 degrees is...
So there's a few months where it's a bit kind of someone needs to turn it down a bit.
Yeah.
But I'll take those for the other 8 months where it's just beautiful, stunning scenery. There's a very different Las Vegas when you get to know it than the one that's painted in the UK, which is, you know, someone would ask if we lived in a hotel on the Strip, and it's like, yeah, of course we do. Yep. Well, actually, we live in Henderson, so it's not Las Vegas that we live in, but it's just a phenomenal place. The more you get to know it, and then where it is as well, 47 minutes to LA, you know, it's just, I can get a direct flight back to London. You know, we've got everything.
Yeah, we've got a lot of national parks around, a lot of public land.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of beauty.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some people don't think the desert's beautiful, but I happen to think that it's beautiful.
I think it's incredible. And if you combine it with the great unconformity?
Yes.
You know, there are some astonishing things here, and you don't have to look far for things that you will literally find nowhere else.
Yes.
Nowhere else, or incredibly rarely. And just looking up at the sky. I hadn't seen the sky in 30 years living in London.
Had you ever seen the Milky Way when you lived in
Only
UK?
when I went to New Zealand.
Okay.
You can't see it in London because of all the light pollution.
You go to New Zealand, it's backwards.
Yeah, everything's the seasons. Obviously are backwards as well. Well, they're not backwards; they're the right way. But it all just feels a bit odd. But I loved it.
Yeah, but the Milky Way's backwards because there was somebody who won a contest here where a picture of the Milky Way, I think in Joshua Tree National Park, and they awarded them whatever it was, but the Milky Way was backwards. So the Milky Way had been taken down under, and whoever the judges were so dumb that they awarded this person.
No.
Yes.
Is that somewhat like Central Station? In
You're fine. Come on through. Sir.
yeah, absolutely.
We might
nice
ask.
shirt.
We
as
might
well.
ask you questions though.
Yeah, very nice shirt.
Thank you.
Is that the same as Central Station? Something went wrong there, didn't it, when they painted the ceiling? I don't know.
I don't do that. I'm sorry.
No.
I got off on a tangent.
That's all right.
But I like the Milky Way and I like New
Yeah.
Zealand too.
Yeah, it is, and it's beautiful. Yeah.
So how did your art do when you came here? You left everything behind.
Yes, my career as well. Obviously, I was heading up a big team of digital people working in artificial intelligence, and I came here and found it very difficult to find work in the same vein as I would have in London, and so I didn't have a work permit either. So there was a while when I could only do my artwork. You know, what a tragedy that was. I got a work permit and started...
That's tongue in cheek.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely, yeah. It was a gift.
I'm slow.
Yeah, it was an absolute gift. And but then I worked part-time at the Neon Museum, so I started learning about the history of the city and so on, but it was part-time. So I still had time. And I said to my husband, you know, you've got your dream job. Can I just pursue my dream now? And he said, absolutely. He said, I've ruined your life by moving from London. He hasn't, obviously, but every now and again I'll say, he ruined my life. So he then said, no, go for it, do your thing. And I haven't looked back, so.
That's great.
Yes.
So talk about your art in Las Vegas. Because I know I was coming to conference calls with you or Zoom meetings there for a while, and you had some other people from the UK on. And
Yep, so Julie, who you met earlier, and I We run the Augmented Society Network.
That's it.
Which is what this current exhibition is organised under the auspices of. That is part of the Royal Society of Arts in the UK. So I'm a fellow of the Royal Society, and I just use it to make friends and to stay in contact with other people and have some great conversations.
Still got a nice shirt.
Yeah, it is still lovely. We use that as a vehicle to do really great stuff, and so we've done 4 huge projects. This is our 4th. So this exhibition started in London, central London. It moved to Worcester University in this beautiful library called the Hive, and then it came over here to the city of Las Vegas. I also have independent exhibitions as well of my drawing. I only ever really use a pencil, although I do work with fabric, and I make all my own clothes as I'm wearing here. This is a scarf of mine. So I just like to work in multiple ways, but when I'm actually drawing, I'm just drawing. That sounds nuts. But yeah, my pencil is my kind of weapon. And you may have seen some of my casino drawings. I started off here drawing the casinos and using the characters that I've developed over time.
Yeah, I think that's what I first saw of yours.
I think it might have been, yeah. So those are, they're called callers. And they're basically telling you to have a good time. So I wasn't very well for a while. I had cancer, and I wanted to...
That was here? Or
Yeah,
was
that was here. And so I used them to start telling people what to do. And so they're much happier here than they were in London. So what I'll do is draw a casino, but then it's a crazy world, which I call Urburane, which is what these kind of characters are coming up out from underneath. And I love to draw from in the sort of inside the earth up into the sky. So all of those casino drawings, you'll see that in the background. So you'll see water underneath, dirt, rocks, stones, lost items, all the way up to the sky and aeroplanes and clouds. And then through that you'll see the casino, the ironwork and all the pipes and everything underneath. And then the monsters or the callers kind of holding it all up like a headdress.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
We'll make it. So,
Yeah.
well, that's interesting. Was that, in a way, therapeutic for you?
I think drawing is a therapy.
With your cancer?
Yeah, although
recovered?
some days, yeah, I'm fine. I'm 3 years out now, and I've literally just been, so I've got the all clear for 3 years. Sometimes you can't do anything because you're too consumed in the situation, but then I get that kind of desperate, and I've got to do, and that doing is drawing for me. It's never cleaning, which it probably should be occasionally, but it isn't. But I love doing things with my hands. I love making things. So drawing to me is a therapy, which I think it is for a lot of people actually. And I use it to kind of think out loud. So yes, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm very interested in that.
Yes.
My original partner with the podcast, she had breast cancer, double mastectomy, and it wasn't until afterwards that she was still wallowing and she started art.
Right.
That it was therapy for her, and she took off.
Yeah.
What she still does today.
It's interesting because you're so concerned about it coming back. You're not the person you were before. So you have to find a way to deal with it. And we all find our own ways, but drawing and making art is a great thing to do.
Do you find solace in quiet?
I like quiet. I don't like too much of it because I'm an overthinker. So I can catastrophize.
Yeah.
Almost anything, literally you give me a subject and I'll be like and it's all gone too far, so I need to be a bit careful about that.
There's some people who like to listen to music or podcasts while they work, and I kind of like quiet, but not everybody does.
No, I think you have to kind of mix it up a little bit, really.
Want to tell us about Little Zoe?
Little Zoe.
Were you bringing home pictures of camshafts and putting them on the
So I love
on the refrigerator?
Sure, there's pictures of me in overalls. I painted, there's a picture of me with creosote painting the garden gate, playing around with our bicycles, and taking things apart. And funnily, we actually had, it's not that funny actually, we had some old World War I and World War II stuff. So we had a hand grenade that we would play with. I mean, it wasn't loaded or anything.
Thank God.
Yeah, but we had a mustard gas kit.
What?
Yeah, from the First World War.
Yeah.
So we had these weird things that would just be so fascinating. And then I would just build stuff. Any piece of wood. I built a whole hydraulic system for Action Man so that he could go up and down the stairs without walking, and that sort of stuff.
So you were ready to go into the mechanics and engineering.
Yeah. So I got my motorbike license before I got my car license, and I did all my own maintenance on that, which is, obviously it's a money thing then because I was a student. So I would do all my own repairs. And I just had a love of it and a liking of accuracy. So when I discovered a torque wrench, that a nut and bolt had to be to a specific tent, that was like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Your employer had to love that about you.
No.
Your employer. Because you just weren't on the computer designing things.
No.
Your hands had actually touched and...
Yes, yeah. And it's funny because we had a Ford contract, and we were mainly doing the Rolls-Royce stuff, but they would supplement it, and there was a Ford Sierra, and the quality standards on the Ford Sierra camshafts were not what was on the Rolls-Royce. So it would be quite interesting to see, what the tolerance was for the various clients as well.
Yeah.
There was a big difference in quality.
Oh, so that's why import cars are more expensive to work on.
If it's
and last longer.
I'm not going to say that because that's.
I don't want to get you fired from your old job.
No, well, exactly. Actually, the factory doesn't exist anymore, so I can say what I like. But yeah, should we change the subject?
Yes. So you use social media.
Yeah.
Do you sell your art?
Yes. Yeah. It's all about the work. There will be the occasional, oh my God, I love Las Vegas as well. My husband and I, when we moved here, we decided we wouldn't forget that the Strip's here, and we wouldn't forget what we loved about Las Vegas. So every month we would visit a different hotel, and we called it Second Friday. And so we've been to 60 so far.
Yeah.
And we would do certain things like go to the steakhouse, see what the show was, if there was a buffet. We would try out all the different things on the casino floor. So that was something that was a lot of fun. But you know what? I've forgotten the question. What did you ask?
I forgot it too.
Right, we've both forgotten it, so this is going well. But I can't remember it.
What other interests do you have besides art?
Second Friday.
Second Friday.
Yeah, Las Vegas. I love history. I love knowing how things work, obviously. In London, I was a city guide. So I trained for a year, all part-time, but I could take groups of people around the city of London. But I was only allowed let loose, really, in the square mile. So it's a green badge, not a blue badge. So the blue badges could take you all the way to Stonehenge.
Was that a union thing?
It's a thing.
Okay.
Yes. So I would be, they couldn't put me in prison or anything, but I was only qualified for the city. But when you think about the thousands of years that you've got in the city of London, there's so much to talk about. So my friend said to me, well, what are you going to do coming to somewhere that's, 120 years old?
If that.
You're going to be stuffed. And I just haven't been. I absolutely haven't been, because in addition to those 100 years, you've got the 10,000 prior to that, which is just a phenomenal learning curve, which leads you into how America moved west. That takes you back to how America started. So you can encompass everything. If you then add in all the geology, then there's absolutely nothing that puts a stop on anything. So, as I was saying before, looking up at the night sky, just simple things like that. The geology of the Grand Canyon, Red Rock Canyon, Valley of Fire, big construction pieces like the Hoover Dam, all of those things are just, well, I absolutely love the Hoover Dam. The Francis turbines, I don't know what his first name was, we'll call him Mr. Francis, is British. So it was his turbine design that powers Arizona and Nevada.
Oh, it's those turbines that are...
Yeah, they're Francis turbines.
So what do you think about land art?
Oh, absolutely fascinated by it. The dichotomy of should you be doing it in the first place with, oh my God, it's huge. Obviously, you've got the double negative, which was one of my funnest days out ever, in a hire car that we didn't know you couldn't take off-road. And so you've probably been up there, it's all fine, and then you have to go up the side of the Mormon Messe, and then all across, so the tyres were like bing, 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 all the way across. I absolutely loved it. The recent C.J. Hendry out in Sandy Valley, the giant swimming pool with all the flowers in it.
I haven't seen that.
It's gone now, 7 Magic Mountains. You know, some of the stuff that's closer to home, but then you set yourself on another path. So with Michelle Graves, she asked me if I would be interested in joining the board of Goldwell. So now I'm helping her with that, which is a phenomenal project in the Armagosa Desert. You know, it's endless, and you can make of it with respect what you will.
Yeah, and Goldwell's interesting.
Yeah. I think we've
I
got...
almost wore my Goldwell shirt. Actually, it's in the car.
Is it?
Yeah, just in
right,
case
I'm not
I
going to forgive you
dribbled
because
food down the front.
Right, you got it for later. Yeah, that's an amazing opportunity, and we're trying to get up there much more often. So I've been up there 7-8 times now in the last, since October. So when I started to get involved, and that's just a privilege, because there's something very special about where the museum is, and when you're looking out over the desert, the valley, ignoring the solar power and the digs for lithium and the gold and the silver. But that, again, you know, that's something you have to work with, because the town of Beatty was founded on mining, as I understand it, you know, and it's had various stops and starts and abandonments. So that again is reflected in the life that Nevadans lead. And actually, you know, anyone who comes in and out from all over the world to work with the mining companies. And that's an interesting one, because, you know, they make a mess, a big mess. And it's difficult to know how that's going to work out.
They're getting better. You know, certainly the one down in California that's next to Mojave National Preserve and Equal Bay, they take great pains when they open up a new pit. They take all of the flora, okay, and they transplant it.
Really?
Into, they have a couple 6-acre plots.
Right.
So, and actually, I've got 5 more jars of Joshua tree seeds of the steam center that I took. We have to separate the little seeds, and they'll be used when they revegetate after the York fire.
Right. Right. Okay. I think I know about that.
That's the one that was down south a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a mining company that's doing it right, and it's
Real quick, if anyone would be interested in helping clean Joshua tree seeds, just drop me a line, artboxvv@gmail.com, and I can set you up. It would be very much appreciated. Thank you.
You know,
and in Beatty, for example, there's the Beatty Foundation, which I'm not sure how many mines are involved in that, but that's a fund for the people of Beatty. to pay recompense to make you sleep at night. I don't know what, but that's something that we're looking into. So we just won a Travel Nevada grant to do new signage for the museum. We've got lots of just really sensible plans to get it properly established, and so that it's here in another 40 years' time.
Yeah, that would be a good idea, because we've lived here a while now, and I got to tell you how many times I went by and I never knew the museum
didn't know it was
there.
Yeah. I mean, people mainly find Rhyolite first, and then they see Free Museum, and they kind of come off after that.
I have to tell you, the first time I went by there with my wife, I was afraid to go in.
Really?
I thought, it's a museum, and there's probably some crusty old guy in there, and he'll shoot at us if
There
we
is
try
a
to
crusty
go.
old guy. His name's Richard, and he's brilliant.
Yeah, but he's nice.
Yeah. Yes.
Now that I know.
He wouldn't shoot you.
But this was before. I was like, I don't want to go in there.
It might be me or Michelle now.
Michelle's up there with a shotgun.
Yes. Well, we're going up next weekend. I don't know what she's got planned. It could be anything. It's good to kind of, reorganise a bit and work on the legacy that we received.
I thought maybe you might try to outfit the Red Barn there with...
That is definitely on the cards. It would be absolutely phenomenal if you were able to live there, but there's no water. So you have to get the water tank in from Spicer Ranch. We're not entirely sure at the moment where the sewerage goes, so we're not using anything there. So we have to find out if there's actually a
septic tank.
Thank you. We're not sure if we've got one. So there was a couple that lived there that had a cafe, I think. It's had a varied history. But we're struggling at the moment to just keep the roof on, because when the wind comes through, it tucks up under and
does it?
Yeah, and it's really funny because I thought we'll just go and put it back. You've got to find it first.
Goldwell Museum. So you're on the board of directors?
Yes, Michelle approached me. We've worked together on various projects before, and she said, would I be interested? And so I thought a while whether I had enough time, and then I just got really excited about it. I went up there 3 times with various people who come over to visit, and I just got this feeling when I was there that's the silence, just the quiet of it. And I just thought, looking at all the sculptures and thinking about it, I thought I could do this justice. I want to put some time in. So met with Michelle, talked about what was going on about Susan Hackett Morgan retiring, and
I've enjoyed watching her story.
Yeah,
as she's moved to
the
Jersey Belle, somewhere in Montana.
Yeah, no, I do know. She's starting something. She's a big project person, obviously. So we're doing oral histories at the moment. We're looking to record. There's probably 4 or 5 people we want to start with who were literally there at the beginning. Richard obviously was there at the beginning. He met Albert Zukowski, one of the founding sculptor.
Albert Zukowski's the founder, right?
Yeah. Susan we want to talk to, and there are other people who are involved. We were recently given the land, so we were given 15 acres. Which is now maybe. So that's now in the ownership of the non-profit.
Is it? Okay, good.
Yeah. And the Red Barn was donated too, and the land. So we now are kind of in control of that, which gives us a lot more stability, I think, on what we're looking after. We have put a proper budget in place. We are planning all sorts of, as I was saying before, really just sensible things. So all the books are reconciled. Everything on paper has got the right people's names on it. All those little things that if you don't have them in place can be a real headache. Yes. So we're coming to the end of that phase.
Yeah, running a non-profit it's difficult in a way.
Yeah.
Because you need insurance, so it's not cheap.
No. And there are all sorts of complex relationships with people who are just phenomenal with their time And then, how do you manage that if someone wants to sell something? What's the relationship you have? How does that work out with the tax and all of those things? So we're making that much clearer so that when we go into an agreement with someone, we know we're doing the right thing, they know how to do the right thing for themselves. And in the next 3 months or so, we'll be looking at reforming the artist in residence programme.
Oh, okay.
But the Red Barn is not ready for that. So it will be, I think, a different format, but it's something that we think people should experience, because that, just being there at night, having that feeling, you can respond to that as an artist. It has a very strong effect on you. And the effect could be almost anything. It could be one of I need to draw something that I've been thinking about for 10 years, nothing to do with the Armagosa Desert, or it could be I want to work with this landscape in some way. Your response as an artist could be anything, but you have this need to kind of respond to something, and that, I think, needs to be experienced by more people.
Yeah, and artist in residence is perfect for that experience.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah,
Because you don't have to clean up your stuff and go home.
exactly.
You can just stay.
Yeah, perfect. So we need to make sure people are safe. We need to make sure that all adds up before we do anything, because we've lost a few resources, obviously, that need to be put back in place before we go any further. I think Susan had a house there or something that we could have used. Well, that's gone. So how does the artist get there? Where do they come from? How are they kept safe? It's all those things that we're making sure are right.
Well, fine. I continue to look forward to Goldwell.
Me too. We're up there next weekend, actually.
Turning towards the future, what excites you about your art?
I feel like I've only just started. I feel really excited about what I want to explore. I did a piece called The Artist Makes the Work, and it's about an artist actually making work, and sometimes that can be a struggle. I don't feel I've got that struggle at the moment, so I feel like there's a huge resource that I am. So being here at the show for the opening reception, I just want to get back and start drawing. I'm already on to my next project. To have that excitement about what you do, I think is just one of the best things ever, is to be in that position, because sometimes the world gets on your back and you're worried about other things, and then you worry about all sorts of stuff that you have no possible impact on, and that stops your creativity. So this whole show here that we are opening today is about the being creative. There's a fantastic word which is autotelic.
Autotelic.
Yes, and it's about when you are doing something for its own sake, in your own space, for whatever time it takes. It's when you see nothing else but what you're doing, and you might not even know what it is you're actually doing. And I think it's one of the richest states you can be in as a human being. So to have that, to feel that on a day-to-day basis, is something that I have an immediate impact on, a control on, although control's probably not the right word. That is just such an amazing place to be. Sometimes you have to just let other things go and not think about them. No problem. So that's more where I'm at positively in terms of the future. I think it's an incredibly interesting time internationally as well. I think almost anything can happen, and I don't think I've ever really understood that as being true. Now I have to believe that that's true. So, I just think it's an incredible time, but I will not do what I'm doing. I'm not gonna be worried and everything else, because I just feel like I'm in such a strong place. The being creative is one of the most important things that we can be doing at this point, because it keeps your resilience. It enables you to look at something and do it differently next time, not just keep doing the same thing over and over again. That's kind of anti-creative. So if you can learn from that and experience that, you're going to look at life in a way where if you fall over, you get up. You fall over, you get up in a different way. You have a resilience, I believe, that enables you to see that future.
And I believe that that's why art is a very important addition to a STEM program.
Oh, yes.
Because
it has to be STEAM.
Yeah.
It has to be STEAM. Now, I understand why STEM came about. Obviously, it was an American initiative. So I understand at the time there was a lack of mathematicians, engineers, and so on. So I understand, but it's run its course. And if you don't understand that creativity is one of the most important things in maths, engineering, science, if you can't think outside of seeing straight ahead of you, you're not going to do good science.
There's not going to be a scientist.
No, exactly. And it's a shame, but I understand why it was done. But I'm glad STEM became STEAM.
Yeah, and I mentioned the very first time we interviewed Nancy Good, and I said STEM. And I just said STEM because I don't know that. And she's like, what? It's not STEAM? And I'm like, yes, it is. And thank you for picking up on that.
Yeah. That's been an interesting one to consider, because people pick up those acronyms at different times. And, you know, some people understand what they are but are concerned. Other people, it's just, bonkers.
Yeah. When you're in the state that you're in now, how do you turn it off so you can go home and do the laundry? Or after you eat, do the dishes? Then do you immediately go back into, because I'm looking what you said, you got blinders on.
Yeah, it's always there. And you kind of do everything really badly. So you can tell when I've done the washing up, because there's food on the cutlery, it's got to be kind of done again. So you always know when I've done something like that.
Because you're cooking.
Yes.
But you're thinking about this.
I'm a good cook. I'm a rubbish baker, because baking takes discipline. I think, what if I did X, Y? Why am I putting 1 spoon of bicarbonate of soda, and what if I put 2? And of course the end result is disgusting. So I would be experimenting, but sometimes it is a hindrance because you overthink everything. And as I said at the beginning, I am an overthinker. When that is in my practice, that's great. In some other things, it's a problem. It's a problem. And I'm not going to tell you I haven't seen a counsellor, you know, in my lifetime to talk about things, because sometimes things are for everybody. You know, they get complicated and you can't fix it without some external help. So you can't always turn it off. And I don't want to. But you have to learn how that works for you as a human being.
Do you ever dream about your art?
I thought you said, do you ever drink about your art? It's like, yeah.
Do you ever drink about your art?
Yeah. My favourite is a Negroni. Love them. Do I ever dream about my art? No, not really. I have teeth falling out dreams. I have all the run-of-the-mill dreams that we all have, which I think are related to anxiety more than anything else. I don't have dreamscapes at all. No, they come out and they're on paper, they're not in there. I might have an idea, but that would be the spark, the way we all have ideas.
Yes.
That might come to me just as I'm falling asleep. And then I'll get up in the morning and think, oh, God.
Oh, you get up in the morning and you don't...
Well, it depends how many Negronis, obviously. You know, I might leave it a bit.
Do you believe every piece of your art is a self-portrait?
No. It's a reflection of the rubbish that's going on inside my head, which would be a sort of metaphorical self-portrait. But no, I see them as something separate from me.
You want to tell us about your personal breakthrough art piece? And then if I can glom onto that, you want to tell us about your commercial breakthrough art piece?
Sure. My breakthrough art piece, personal, was when I remembered something we used to do as kids, and that was to write each other, my brother and I, messages in milk on paper. And you would have to put the paper under the grill to see what your brother had told you to do. So I would put it under the grill and it would say, your stuffed horse is buried in the back garden, or unless you tell me where something is, Dad gets to find out. So we would do these message reveals. I remembered that, and then I started using it in my work. And I would put it on a greasy griddle to get fantastic brown and white lines. And once I'd remembered how to do that, that was a whole new world of texture, colour, and burning things, basically. My breakthrough commercial pieces they stemmed from that technique, and then moved into much bigger sculptural kind of structural pieces that were very, very popular, however popular an unrecognised artist can be. And those then led on. I have a technique where I just inscribe into paper and then go over it in pencil. That was in my first commercial sale, and I was chuffed to bits with that. So, but success has been a long path.
You're famous as far as I'm concerned.
That's nice.
I told my wife I get to go interview. I said Zoë Camper, and she said, "Who's that?"
No, she said it's
What do
Zoe,
mean?
and
She
you know
said,
better.
Zoe, you know better.
Yeah.
All right. Your favorite British meal?
Favourite British meal? It would be a tandoori masala curry.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm from the East End, so we have 250 languages spoken in London. We have virtually every cuisine, but I was in the East End part where you have Brick Lane, for example, which people would maybe be familiar with. So you can go from northern India all the way down to Pakistan and pick your cuisine. So that would be my absolute go-to.
Okay. And your absolute go-to in America? A steak at some small casino?
No, I'll tell you what it is. It's short ribs in red wine. Oh, when it falls off the bone and it's beautiful with lovely buttery mashed potato, I'll have that any day of the week. Yeah.
I've never asked that question.
Have you not? I had to think, because I do like American food. I like it a lot. But I've never had a short rib before. And when I discovered it, and then at the back of when it was Bally's, there was, is it STK or whatever it was, the steakhouse there.
Yes.
Yeah, they did an absolutely phenomenal short rib in red wine, and they also did a banana cream pie with a graham cracker base. That for me was heaven.
I'll tell you mine's a shepherd's pie, but that's probably just so. You're probably we don't even have shepherd's pie.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. It's usually beef, which is not shepherd's pie because that's cottage pie, but I'll let you off.
What else do you got to say?
What else have I got to say? Live life for today. Try not to worry. It's really hard. I don't actually follow through on that. And just get on with it. Just get on with it, because I am living proof that then, things can go horribly wrong, and then it's down to you to get up and get on. And look at this show. This is 30 plus artists from all around the world. Julie and I have done this entirely because we wouldn't take no for an answer, and that is so important today, any day, is to, if you've got a passion for something, just do it.
Okay, well, I'm excited to see the show.
Yeah.
And I also where's your solo show?
It's at the East Las Vegas Library.
Library.
And it's on until I think it's the 11th of August.
Okay.
Yeah, it might not be the 11th, but it's on till August.
Okay. What's inspired you this week?
I think getting to the end of an exhibition in Stall and liking what you've done and then looking at it and learning and understanding what you've done for someone else, what you've actually done for some people in London, some people all over the UK who now have work on display in Las Vegas. We have a fantastic artist in Rabat, in Morocco, who has work on the wall here, who wasn't an artist before. We have Professor Carlos Legacha Martinez, who designed a new project for his students in Bogota. Their work's on the wall. To know what you've actually done, and it's not just for you. There is a vanity in it, of course, but to see everyone's work is just a phenomenal inspiration.
So, and you've just moments ago stepped back and said, I'm done.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, literally.
So how good you must feel.
Because Julie has arrived from London. We're fed up with it all. We're having the groaners today, and we're just now getting to enjoy what we've done. So yeah, that's inspired me
I'm glad
hugely.
I didn't show up earlier. You would have been in the middle of things.
Yeah. It's done. The labels keep peeling off, so I have to push them back on. But what I love as well is doing like a monthly maintenance on a show. You go back in, that's not right, that's wrong. So you have that cycle to it, which I love as well, because it lets me be that detailed. So I love that too.
That's good. Well, Zoe, I really appreciate it.
My
And
pleasure.
I'm happy to have met you.
Me too, you. And my website,
Oh, yeah.
is zoecamper.com. So that's ZOECAMPER.com. And please buy freely.
Yes.
And there's loads of stuff on it, so please enjoy.
Oh, did we also talk about the show when it's, I think you said through mid-August?
So,
Might as well give the address.
Yeah, so this is the historic 5th Street School. It's 401...
South.
Whatever it is,
South 4th
Booth.
Street.
Yes, thank you very much. You know
Which
more
is-
than I do.
Yeah, which confused me.
Oh, yes,
It's the
5th Street School on 4th Street.
Street.
Yeah, it's the Mayor's Gallery. So obviously we have a new mayor as well. This one closes on the 11th of September, so you've got all summer to come and see it. And there are guided tours every month, so you can come and have a 45 minutes tour to learn about the artists, what their intentions were, and how to get started yourself.
Okay. Do you have to make arrangements or?
It's 11 o'clock. Every third Thursday of the month, just turn up. It's
Okay.
all on the website, so you can find that information. It's all on the city website as well.
Okay.
So I'd love to see you down here so we can talk through the work that's on display.
Okay. Zoe, thank you very much.
Broadcasting from the Mesquite Works Steam Center in the scenic Mojave Desert, the Art Box sponsors thank you for listening. You can find us on Spotify, Samsung, iHeartRadio, Podchaser, and Amazon Music. Please subscribe so you don't miss an episode. We are on Facebook and Instagram as The Art Box. We welcome all comments. You can email us at artboxvv@gmail.com. The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of its hosts and guests and do not necessarily reflect those of our sponsors.